Xia Dynasty, the first true Chinese dynasty, or was it just a myth? For almost 4,000 years of its long history, China has been ruled by various dynastic states, from its first emperor, Yu the Great, in 2070 BC, through to the abdication of its final ruler, Puyi, the Xuantong Emperor, in 1912. The first of these dynasties was the Xia Dynasty, that ruled from 2070 through to 1600 BC. This is a dynasty that is mentioned in legends, and according to those legends, it was founded by Yu. Yu is acclaimed to have engineered the draining of water after a great flood. There were 17 rulers during this dynasty that ended with Jia, who led the empire from 728 BC. Jia is by tradition said to have fallen in love with a beautiful but evil woman with a cruel streak. Outraged at the actions of this woman, the people rose up in rebellion led by Zelu, who went on to be the founder of the Shang Dynasty as the Tang Emperor. The first true Chinese dynasty, or was it just a myth? Said to be the first true Chinese dynasty, the Xia was described in ancient bamboo annals that date from the late 3rd century BC. Also from the records of the historian Sima Qian from about 145 BC, there is a long-standing debate as to whether or not the Xia dynasty was nothing more than myth and not reality. Till the mid-20th century, there was no direct evidence available to support the theories that surround this long-banished era. Some scholars are of the belief that this dynasty was invented to validate the leadership of the Shang Dynasty. This later dynasty has an abundance of archaeological and written historical evidence. The Shang Dynasty dates from around 1760 BC, and many of the attributes ascribed to the Xia are widely different to those ascribed to the Shang. Legends of the Xia Dynasty. The historical records of the Xia claim the dynasty was founded by Yu the Great about 2070 BC, who was a descendant of the Yellow Emperor. His capital city was Yang City, and he was reputed to have spent 13 years stopping a great flood and bringing irrigation to the valley of the Yellow River. Many of the tales surrounding Yu the Great as semi-mythical figure, the ideal hero and ruler, are cast in mythology. However, these stories predate the Shang, do not rule out the possibility of a sophisticated society that predated the Shang. The Xia Dynasty is said to be the first to have used irrigation, be involved in the production of cast bronze, and to have built a strong army. Other claims include the first to have used a wheeled vehicle, a compass, a square, and a rule. There were an estimated 13.5 million people living in the territory governed by the Xia. Possible Xia dynasty sites. While there remains some debate as to the authenticity of the Xia dynasty, there is some recent evidence that increases the likelihood of a dynasty that predated that of the Shang. Late Neolithic sites uncovered show some elements of suggesting the Xia dynasty existed in sites such as Taozi, Erlito, Wancheng and Xinzai, mostly located in central Henan province. While not all researchers agree on this connection, the evidence of these archaeological sites show there was a high degree of cultural or political sophistication of this early period of Chinese history. Erlito, located in Henan province, is in itself a massive site measuring at least an area of 745 acres. It was occupied from 3500 to 1250 BC, with its heyday being around 1800 BC. It was the primary centre of the region and consisted of 8 palaces as well as a large cemetery precinct. Taozi. The site at Taozi was discovered in southern Shanxi province and was a regional centre and in operation from 2600 until 2000 BC. It housed an urban centre which in itself was surrounded by large walls of rammed earth. The site itself also housed a craft production centre for pottery and other traditional artefacts. It houses one structure of rammed earth, semicircular in shape, which has been identified as an astronomical observatory. Wangchonggang. The settlement at Wangchonggang that existed from 2200 until 1835 BC was one of at least 22 sites that have been found along the Ying River Valley. This site had two connecting small rammed earth enclosures that were built around 2200 BC, a craft production centre and several ash pits with some containing the remains of human burials. Xinzai. Located in Henan Province, Xinzai was an urban centre with at least 15 other connected sites surrounding it. In operation from 2200 until 1900 BC, it housed a large semi-subterranean structure believed to have been used for ritual sacrifices. Blood evidence. An international group of archaeologists reported in 2016 of evidence of a great flood along the Yellow River at about 1920 BC at a site known as Lajia. This, the archaeologists claim, was evidence of the great flood of the legends during the Xia Dynasty. At the Lajia site, several residences were found with skeletons buried within the flood debris. While these experts admitted the date was several centuries later than those of the origins of the Xia Dynasty, an article supporting the flood appeared in the August 2016 edition of Science magazine, and comments quickly disagreed with the data and interpretation supplied by the geological and archaeological experts, so these sites and their authenticity remains open to speculation, like many others. Death of Yu and decline of Xia. Yu the Great ruled for 45 years and named his son Qi as his successor. In naming his son, Yu initiated the policy of dynastic succession. Qi's son Taikang was not a good ruler, and those successors that followed were highly skilled and brought numerous inventions that were later attributed to the Xia. These included the development of armour for use in warfare, as well as rules of chivalry to be conducted in battle. The dynasty's sixth ruler was a great hero, Shao Kang. He revitalized the dynasty, and many legends tell of his tales. Shao Kang. His father was killed in battle against Han Zuo and his two sons, effectively ending the Xia dynasty. However, Shao Kang's mother, while pregnant with the future ruler, escaped. As Shao Kang grew up, he was taught of his birthright and eventually defeated his enemies and restored the Xia dynasty. Prior to the arrival of Shao Kang, the Xia rulers had become corrupt, losing the goodwill of the people. Finding sanctuary in a northern tribe with ties to the Xia dynasty, Shao Kang was able to build and prepare to retake his kingdom. Meanwhile, Han Zuo was becoming increasingly tyrannical, imposing heavy taxes upon the people. He sent his sons out in pursuit of Shao Kang. When the armies met in battle, the army of Han Zuo was defeated and Han Zuo's two sons were dead. When Shao Kang's army arrived at the gates of the capital, they were treated as liberators and Han Zuo took his own life. Shao Kang ordered his army to protect the people and restore peace. Eventual fall of the dynasty. The Xia dynasty began its eventual decline under its ruler Jia in the 18th century BC. He cared more for strong drink than the responsibilities of a ruler. His successor was Gao, who in turn was succeeded by Fa, neither of whom did very much to improve the lives of the people, only that of themselves. The final emperor was Jia, who was mentioned at the beginning of this video, who was known as a tyrant for the bad choice of the woman he chose as his wife. He was eventually overthrown by Zelu, who became Tang, the first emperor of the Shang Dynasty. Conclusion. Much of the evidence of the existence of the Xia Dynasty is based on myth and legend, until as recently as the 1960s, when archaeological evidence was used to corroborate the tales of historians. Even now, that evidence is sometimes questioned. Skeptics remain unconvinced of the actual existence of the Xia Dynasty. The discovery of palaces and four-walled houses, distinct from earlier round houses in the 1960s, challenged those skeptics, but a lack of written records to positively identify them as being from the Xia Dynasty means the debate continues on whether or not China's first dynasty was in fact real, or just a politically motivated fabrication of later writers to introduce the authenticity of the Shang Dynasty. That is all for this video. If you have enjoyed watching and it's shown you a little detail of life here in China, then your subscribing to my channel would mean a lot to me. Thank you for watching. Make sure you click on the link to the next video, and until the next time, goodbye for now.